Welcome to another edition of Highliner News. I'm Noelle.
And I'm Hannah. With Thanksgiving tomorrow, we start our show with advice.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanksgiving Day is a day full of family and, of course, food. The first Thanksgiving meal was in 1621, when the Pilgrims ate deer, corn, and other roasted meats. Very different from today's Thanksgiving, however. Today's meal consists of potatoes with gravy, turkey and other meats, corn, stuffing, a dinner roll, then other things like cranberries. Don't forget the slice of pie on the side. Have a great Thanksgiving, and remember to eat lots of turkey, watch some football, and of course, take a nice, long afternoon nap.
There are many things we take for granted.
Luther Zeltinger and Michaela Walla find out what it is like to live without sound.
This is what Paige hears all day long since she was born.
I'm deaf and I have two cooking plates. When I take them off, I can't hear anything. I have two blankets in my head that keep my eyes on my head. I can play sports like everyone, but sometimes I work harder because I can't hear the whistle. When I can't hear the whistle, I watch my team. If they stop, I stop. I watch the ball to know if the play is over. When teachers show videos, I need CC. I like it when my teachers give me the directions on paper because sometimes I can't see my teachers' faces. If I can read their lips, I can't understand them. You have to look at me. Don't cover my lips. Talk slow so I can understand you. Don't ask me to sign because I don't know how to sign anymore and I can talk. If I talk too fast, tell me to slow down. If I talk too loud, tell me because I can't hear my voice. If you don't understand me, ask me to text you or write it down.
This is Michaela from Highliner News.
Bowling may strike you as a pretty simple sport.
But is it as easy as it looks? Reporter London Dietrich has the story.
For some, bowling is just a pastime. For others, it's a family tradition and competitive sport.
My family has been in bowling for so many years, so my dad got me into it when I was young.
Because Matt got me into it, and it's kind of a fun sport.
The bowlers most enjoy the friendly atmosphere bowling provides.
Having a good coach, being able to go to competitions and have fun.
Being around friends, just having a fun time.
The most challenging aspect of bowling is personal technique.
Picking up your own spares, having to throw out a single pin. People may think it's easy, but it's not.
My form, I'm terrible.
Despite its difficulty, many underestimate the skill it takes to be a bowler.
That it's just super easy and that it's not a sport, but it actually takes time to get like footing and throwing down.
For Highliner News, this is London Dietrich.
Fuel Up to Play 60 is growing in the community.
Reporter Macy Schlatt digs up the story.
My name is Cheyenne Williams, and I am the North Dakota State Ambassador for Fuel Up to Play 60. Fuel Up to Play 60 is just a school program where there's a group of students that just promote healthiness and 60 minutes of physical activity a day. I went to a summit this summer in Minneapolis, and we had to come up with a speech to say in front of 3 judges. I was one of those 10 people who were chosen to win a $1,000 grant through ADCAP. So with this grant money, I will be implementing a community garden up at Jefferson because we already have these planters that aren't being used for anything, so I thought we'd put them to use.
This is Macy Schlott reporting for Highliner News.
Next, we dive in with Noelle Thompson and the Jamestown swim team.
Reporter Abby Lemnis has the story.
Last week, senior Noelle Thompson and her team attended the girls' state swimming competition. The week leading up, the team altered their training.
We're preparing for state by doing a lot of taper, which is less yards, more intensity, and then we're also resting more and eating cleaner.
The seniors are excited for state, but weren't ready for the end.
It's going to be really bittersweet since I'm a senior, but it's going to be a lot of fun with all the new girls.
I don't want swimming to be over yet.
The team had high hopes going into the competition.
Well, our team has a mixture of younger and experienced athletes. We got 7th at WDA, and I think we'll carry that in really well into state.
I'm seeded well, so hopefully I can do decent. It would be really cool to make top 16. I'm just happy that I get to swim at state.
Even though Noelle isn't from Jamestown, her presence is loved.
She's really fun. She makes practice not suck. She's just fun to be around.
She's really fun. She has a great energy about her also. She has a great attitude when she comes to practice. She's very coachable, so when I tell her to do something, she's able to fix it. It's fun to coach her, and it'll be sad to see her go too.
For Highliner News, this is Abby Lemnis.
In case you were wondering, Noelle swam a personal best in the backstroke at state.
From librarian to artist, Mrs. Learood shares her love of art.
Let's Van Gogh into this segment with reporter Hunter Burchell.
I sat down with Mrs. Learood to learn more about her passion for painting.
Color. I love to use color. And it just kind of either brings me back to a memory, like I was at this place with a friend or family. A lot of people think buildings are just buildings, but I see a lot more. Gallery right now, I moved a lot of my paintings over to the hospital gallery. There's about 26 pieces there, and I included 2 of my sons in there too.
Mrs. Learood explained to me a little bit of background behind some of her paintings.
I usually paint from places I've been, so if I go on a trip I take pictures, and so I paint from my pictures. A couple of my shows have been, first one was about Washington, D.C., and so I have a lot about buildings there or the wall for my dad's experience in Vietnam. And then I also have a whole bunch of paintings from my trip to Norway. When I was in Norway, we were able to find my great-great-great-grandmother's farm, and the house was still there, so we were able to visit the people who lived there, and we saw the barn and the church in the little town that was right by there, so that was pretty cool.
Reporting for Highliner News, I'm Hunter Burchell.
As volleyball and cross-country seasons come to a close, Lexi Ondrasik and Sophie Bowe swap sports for the day.
Volleyball serves up some challenges for Sophie.
Cross country, you don't use your arms as much, but in volleyball you do. You use your arms and your feet more, and you move around a lot more.
Being used to running forward is easy, but if you add a jump, it may be difficult.
Positioning your feet in time to jump up and hit the ball, I couldn't do that.
Practicing for a different sport can be tough.
I enjoyed that the girls were welcoming. That was always nice.
Volleyball and cross country have their differences, but most don't realize.
I guess volleyball is more fast-paced, but in cross country it's a little bit slower and it's more all in your head when you're running.
From the court to the streets, we follow Lexi as she joins the cross country team.
We're more like hand-eye coordination. They're more like running, I don't know. Tried to keep pace with those guys, and obviously they're more conditioned than me, but I thought I did okay.
From extreme weather conditions to long-distance running.
Cross country doesn't get enough credit for how much they run and stuff. I've been to a couple cross country meets, and I think they work really hard.
This is Brianna Kunze reporting for Highliner News.
Reagan Inkstead and Courtney Lloyd check up on the class of 2018 as 3 more seniors have solidified their college plans.
For the class of 2018, there is an assortment of decisions to be made, but these 3 seniors have it all figured out.
I'm going to UND. I'm majoring in physics with a minor in astrophysics. We'll actually have time in between classes to do whatever we want, and they have a good food thing up there. It's pretty close to home, so I can still help my dad for harvest and stuff like that. And it has a good physics program.
I'm going to be attending North Dakota State University. I'm going to major in radiology and go into radiologic technician. I think the thing that excites me most is being able to go out on my own and make my own friends and kind of just branch out from everything Valley City, but knowing that I'm close enough to home to come back if I need to. I chose NDSU because when I went on the campus, it just felt like home, and it was all, people say it's so spaced out, but I thought it was closer together, and it wasn't small, but it's not huge.
I'll be attending college at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. I'm majoring in aquatic biology. I'm most excited about going back to my home state of Texas and getting out of the cold weather. I chose Texas State because it's located in my hometown of San Marcos, Texas, and I just figured I'd go back for a little bit during college at least.
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Reagan Inkstead.
From a national screen to a local stage, VCHS Theater comes alive to tell the story of fame, love, and the importance of music.
This year, the VCHS Theater Department put on the musical Singin' in the Rain Jr. Director Chelsea Jensen gives us insight on the plotline of the play.
It's based off Singing in the Rain, the movie that came out in, I think, the 1950s. And it's set in the 1920s when talking pictures are just starting to come about. And so we follow two silent film stars.
Claims he can make talking pictures. Why would we want pictures to talk?
It's pretty fun for me to be able to come here and share my love of it with other students.
You could fall in love with me. For sure.
It's a lot more about being a team and getting stuff done and working together to put on the best show that we can.
I am most excited for the play to see my grandparents and all of the rest of my family see me perform.
After months of practice, VCHS Theater produced a show full of memorable moments and laughs. Until the curtain opens next time, this is Abby Slider with Highliner News.
Reporter Brianna Kunze has the inside scoop on women in welding in this edition of Pursue Your Passion.
I had the opportunity to come up to the VOTEC to do welding, but the first day I was actually thinking about doing health careers, and then I just knew I wouldn't be happy with it. And so once I started welding, I just found a spark with it. I just got really connected with it. I enjoyed it. It made me feel kind of like good about myself because I'm doing something that other girls aren't doing.
Welding isn't an easy thing to do.
It's something I've grown on. I can see myself doing it in the future because I'm happy with what I'm doing with it. They say female welders are generally better than male welders because we are more neat and we know how to keep things more steady than guys.
Emerson has worked very hard for where she has come and hopes to continue in the welding field.
She has developed in the welding program quite well. As with a lot of females that I've seen in the workforce, they tend to be very good with their dexterity and do quite well in the workforce.
Emerson has found her way in a male-dominated field.
I hope she accomplishes everything she wants to accomplish. And from what I understand, she will be attending NDSCS in the welding program and go on from there.
This is Brianna Kunze reporting for Highliner News.
From all of us at Highliner News, we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for joining us from Chautauqua Park in Valley City for this edition of Highliner News. I'm Noelle.
And I'm Hannah.